going on? Coin Observatory, what's going on, crypto world? It's 9 p.m. over here, so good evening. In this video, I'm going to just do a brief BTC update, brief Ether update, maybe cover ES futures because it did gap down. And then we're going to do a live indicator AMA. We've got a lot of questions. We've got a lot of you guys on the trial. They're asking me questions, and some of them have been answered in previous videos, but I figured the best way to do this and clarify any questions you might have is to do it live. And we haven't done one of these in a while, an indicator AMA. So tune in, stay tuned. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of good questions coming up. Let's see. Good evening, Paris. What's up, Jason, Drew? Good evening. All right. Let's get this show on the road. So, where is BTC? What's it doing? There's a little bit of a dip. I signaled like a scalp short earlier today, but then looking at this long-term fib, guys, from the 2019 top to this bottom, right? I think we're at support. I really think we're looking at support. I just don't see us breaking back down to 75, right? I just don't see that happening. Not today, not with everything else going on in the world. Some of you guys had mentioned an ES correlation, and I try to like debunk that, or misprove it, or prove it wrong, right? And we're gonna do that. I'm gonna show you why I don't think they're currently correlated. This is the 61.8. This is where the S&P kind of necked down, and now it's selling off. I do think it's going to refill this gap. This could be a bear trap, right? This could be a bear trap on the S&P. Conversely, BTC is not at the 61.8 yet, right? It's above the smaller one that would correlate to that S&P high. That's why I said, because I don't think they're really correlated right now, because this is the that 61.8, the 7800 mark that was our previous target. And now we're up and we're past this sequence of fibs, and we're looking at the next one. And I really do think that 9800 to 10K is the next target on BTC. That kind of covers BTC. Let's go into S&P. It was an inverse head and shoulders. We did go up. We're doing this a little bit of a broadening formation. I didn't quite look at news over the weekend, right? I know the FDA approved the remdesivir, the HIV medication they've been using in China for months, right? And that's the problem in the U.S. is you have the FDA, and it takes a while to approve things. And I think let's throw on the indicators, right? I mean, this is an indicator AMA. Let's see what the indicators are saying. I haven't scanned the S&P with Phantom, and let's just remove drawings. All right, now we're at this midline, a break below the midline, right? So components of Phantom, we've got our sell zone, our two midlines, and our buy zone, right? Are we gonna break all the way down to 1986? I don't know. I don't think we're that bearish, right? There's definitely a lot of fibs on the way down. That being said, according to Phantom, if the S&P can pull back up and close above 2797, then it's definitely still bullish, and this was indeed a bear trap. And if it does go down, right, the next breakdown, we're looking at 2526, right? So that would be like a really good put price. Problem is the volatility on this, right? You don't want to play this like 1 week puts. You want to play these like 3-4 week puts. This because the volatility is either there or it's not, right? You can go sideways for so long and run out, end up worthless on your weekly calls. Let's look over Ether. ETHUSD is really looking interesting. Actually, before I do that, let's look at the ES again. I want to cover more time frames just so you guys can understand the continuity of time frames on Phantom. So that's the 4 hour. Let's look at the 6 hour, or the 60 minute. We did have a top here, played out perfectly, dipped down close to the buy zone, didn't quite hit it, and that's where we kind of leveraged long on those calls. And then a little bit of motion between the midlines, right? Once it closed above, we got these green dots. I'd say clear for a higher high, right? Now here we're below, so it's kind of in a no trade zone. If it does go to 26, that's potentially a long. Let's look at the 15. 15 is not really playing along nicely. Let's go to the 30. So you kind of want to find the time frames that are actually playing out, right? So the 30 had really good rise down here. Bad hedge zone, bad hedge zone, bad hedge zone, good hedge zone. All right, jumping into Ether. ETH, you know, looking at Phantom, right? You're gonna get amazing signals. You're gonna get ones that don't really play out. Somebody asked me like, "Hey, it kept going up. Why did it keep going up?" Well, you know, a chart's gonna range. When it ranges, it's gonna take everybody's money because it's testing liquidity. That being said, when it's ranging, you know, Phantom's fantastic. So you gotta find that ranging time frame, and you want to hedge. Let's say you shorted here, you longed here, you've got your stop here, then you say this short gets stopped out, you got another short, and then you put a stop here. This one gets stopped out. Let it run. Let it run. Maybe you have long, hedge, you know, breakout. Let it run. That's how we use it to really hedge. The 15 put out a long signal today on Phantom. I do think we're going to turn here. I did signal 207 with a stop at 205. And I think, you know, we're heading. We should head back up to 214 and 219. You know, the daily. If I was just to look at Ether daily update, go to the daily chart. We're not quite at the 61.8 yet. And I think it's right at $260. Right, that's my next Ether target. This is the 50, right? This is not a complete retracement, so we're looking for 259, 260, or I am. CME gap is the best question of the weekend, right? That's the question of the day. We might, you know, like we're seeing these down candles. We might and we might not, man. Remove drawings. CME might fill their own gap. It's actually filled. It's gone. CME gap is a goner. You see that? Let's go to the 15. I mean, this gap is filled. If you think that like a $4 move, what is this? 84, 88.40, a $15 move, right? Is not filled. That's filled. We might go down just like one more. That's actually, you know, 10 minutes behind. So CME gap's filled. So I mean, if I was you guys and you know, that short got stopped out on this run or on this high, I would add a small long somewhere over here, maybe June futures, right? We don't want to long December futures just yet because there's not been a big liquidity event for December. So we'll look forward to longing that. That's going to be my next hedge is December because it's running at a premium, right? When we get the liquidity moves and you get those big drops, let's say it's trading at, you know, $300 above spot. Well, after a big sell-off, it tends to be like $200 below spot. So we make an extra like 4%, but that 4% on 100x leverage is 400%. So it really plays off. You know, we don't want to touch December until there's been a liquidity event. And I don't think we've seen that. I don't think this is it. I don't think it's going to come tonight. All right, indicator questions. Let's put them all on. Let's go back to ETHUSD. Let's lay them all down. All right, so I mean, this should be your dashboard. We did have I don't know why it went away. I need to talk to Andre about that. There was a deep crab that ended here. Let me pull it out of the Ether charts. Alright, so right here we did have a deep crab that ended at 207, and that's one of the reasons I signaled long. That being said, you know, we're still in that zone. There was a secondary confirmation from Phantom. So that should hold. If not, there's a 4 point down to the 200 range. PRZ's at 198. I don't think that's gonna play out. If you're wondering, it's not a normal sippy cup. I'm not trying not to get water on my electronics. It's water. It's like filtered. It's pretty awesome. My big filter is out, and I ordered some, and they're not here yet. And the ones I ordered first were small ones for the tumbler, so I bought a tumbler. Anyways, no sippy cups. Yes, what is the best time frame for swing trades? So, I mean, you have to be in tune with the chart, right? I mean, the 4 hour had given us, especially Phantom, right? The 4 hour Phantom. We're gonna start with XBT USD. The 4 hour Phantom on BTC was great. Remove drawings, right? The 360 is giving us some good longs for swings. There is no, oh, I'm just gonna wait for this time frame to do what I want it to do, and boom. You gotta be fluid, right? The market is very fluid, right? So here we had, if I'm gonna measure these guys, we had a 26% move up, right, to 27% move down. Back to up here, that kept running. It was a hedge, if you would have hedged here and then moved stop to entry, you would have been good. Then here was another short. It was no buy. A few good midlines, and then now it's gone. So the thing is, whenever the chart exits Phantom on the select time frame, on the time frame you want to trade, you want to start looking for other time frames. You want to see what time frames Phantom is entering, right? So like here on the hourly, right, we had this long signal here, and that was a 6,500, not even a sell short up here anywhere, all the way up. So it's all about, now we're out of Phantom. Let's find that next time. The 30 might definitely be in. You're in, right? We're in the 30. Now we're ranging between midlines. So it's not a set, it's not going to tell you what BTC is going to do on a daily, 6 months out. This just, if the market was that easy, we wouldn't be trading it all the time. We wouldn't be watching it. So it's not. So, the 15, it's a little convoluted. It's actually a chop zone. So then you want to go, okay, that's a 30. Let's go into the 15. Let's go a little deeper, all right? The 15 had an excellent head short. Come down. Now we're below the midline. So we want to expect downwards continuation, right? If you're just trading Phantom. And that's going to bring us down to 85.04. Now, what's the 5? So what's the 10 saying? The 10 doesn't quite want to go that low. So you really want to look at time frame continuity. You want to see the move that you're actually looking to trade. Then you want to scale down your time frame or scale up your time frame to see if the other time frames are going to allow you to execute that way, or if you need to change your thinking. Because the market doesn't how we're thinking, it actually does its own thing. Same thing with ES, same thing with ETH. Let's go to ETH USD. Right, so the 15 has been pretty good. The 30. I'm just gonna get rid of my fibs. Alright, so the 4 hour, during the flash crash, I really wanted a long here, and if you got in this zone, and we had an exit, and then that was another opportunity to get in on a long for a hedge that stops out, continue long, right? And now we're out of the 4 hour. Let's see what the 360 is saying. Never quite hit the low, right? So if you're sitting there waiting for $79 Ether, it might not happen, right? So if you're waiting for a daily price on BTC Phantom, it's not a guarantee that price is going to get down there, but what Phantom's saying is if it does get down there, that is where liquidity is. Yes, definitely find the find the actual time frame that is signaling, right? If it's just chop, unless, if this is looking like a no trade zone, then we get a retest of our midline right at, 171, and then it breaks above. This is no trade, but once it comes back here, these green dots, they're buy signals, right? And you can definitely confirm with RBI, as KD was positive. This was the sell, right? And here, we did have a signal line go blue. Signal line goes blue. That's a buy. That's a expect volatility. You've got a buy confirmation, and then now you want to continue the trend up. So if it is chopping, on a larger time frame, throwing on the XABCD or Harmonic Scanner is probably a good idea, right? Like that's just something that we want to do because it's gonna catch a lot of these chops. This is actually a sell signal on Phantom. Actually, no, this one was, right? So the scanner, this 786 is not valid. Right, I'm going to try to turn it off. Boom. But the 3 drive, right, the wolf wave, definitely valid. Came down. This is a long zone, right? Go back up. We got a 4-point ending at a sell zone. That's promising for a down move, right? Now we've got. I wonder what happened to that deep crab. So you gotta. I'm gonna be patient with this. My stomp is still at, you can see my alert there too, at 205. On RBI, the thinner pulse signal considered no trade zone. No. So that's going to be your signal line, right? Whenever it goes blue, that's expect volatility, right? And usually going to be like it's like a weak buy, it's a stronger buy, and that's where I signaled. And you want to, most of the time when you're in a long, you want to be in a KD positive long, right? Sometimes you're just going to flip, not at a low. But, what I'm talking about is here. The chart started going up, then we had K crossover. Let me zoom in. Like a really good RBI phantom signal would be right here, right? Because KD, right, the green line and the red line, I'm going to change that to yellow, right? They're positive. K's above D. The signal line comes down below and it turns blue, right? And then Phantom's saying this is support's going to hold. So at this point, right, we can expect this sell-off to be a bear trap because momentum's positive, right? Momentum's positive. At this point, there was 1, 2, 3 divergent sell signals on the 15. Well, these 2 are divergent, and then the following 2 are divergent. It's just not a straight line. At that point, not a good short, right? Because not only that, but KD was negative, and that would have been a pretty good short entry on the 15 RBI. I'm gonna wait till we queue up a few more questions. another good chart, you know. That was an example of an exit, and then now is back in the buy zone. Would be ETH BTC. All right, so we're just gonna do Phantom. All right, so the 240 saying, you know, it's between them headlines, right? And but we're looking for a long for other reasons. And if you go to the 30, you got really close to signaling along, right? So you might come down. You can see I have an alert here, and that's to throw up the signal in this point. I'm just going to inch it up just a bit. And so what happened was we had a phantom exit on the 30. That long didn't play out when I signaled. And then phantom exited, or the chart exited phantom and came back in. And now it's kind of coming back around and down into the buy zone. No, I tend to set entry then stop loss. Question is for derivative futures, do you set stop loss then entry? Answer is no. I usually enter and then I set. I'm pretty relaxed on my stops because a lot of times it takes like 2 or 3 tries for a zone to be validated. So I might get stopped out like once or twice. And you know that, like the last long you took, Drew, you said I'm going to set a mental stop. And if you had set a physical stop, you would have been stopped out. But you set a mental stop, then the chart rallied 3,000% in your favor, right? So I'm pretty relaxed on my stops unless I'm running like strict hedges, right? When I'm running strict hedges, then it's I put my entry and then I put my stop and I make sure to click on the reduce only, because if you accidentally were to close that trade out and not cancel your stop, then at that point when the chart gets there, it's going to trigger a buy, right? If it's a short, it's going to trigger a sell if it's a long, and now you're going to be like shorting low, shorting support, or longing resistance. You don't want to do that. Oh my goodness. My small ether long is about to get stopped at 205. All right, guys. Show me some questions. If you have any questions, we're gonna wrap it up. This was an AMA for you guys, so the more questions you have about the indicators, the longer it's gonna go on. If it's not, you guys don't have any more questions, and we can wrap it up. All right, so this next long zone is going to be at 8504. Do you have any more questions, guys? No questions? All right, well, thank you for tuning in. I'll try to do an indicator AMA every Sunday, so if you guys have questions, you know, just kind of save them up and drop them during the stream. You can drop them during any stream, really. Am I missing anything? I'm not. Alright fam, well thanks for tuning in, and make sure to hop into Discord, right? Look out for the possible reversal zone here on BTC, right? 15-minute phantom, 185.20. Let's go to like maybe a 5. If there's anything sooner, there's not. The 10. The 10's looking like a possible PRZ, right? So let's add on a little bit of RBI. RBI is saying not quite. So, you know, if you're just using the indicator suite, start a scan and see if there's a harmonic that'll finish down here, and there's not. But if you go to the 15, there is, right? So here we're looking at a butterfly. So it's showing on the 15-minute scan, but it's not showing on the 10-minute. What's the setup? It's a 9. So maybe you do a 6 on the 10. Let me see if I can get it to pump up, and that would give us like a validated long. Not quite. You bet, Paris. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for tuning in. Right, I mean, some things to look forward to. That's the 30, maybe the 15. That's where it was on a 9. Here I'm just shading phantom setting, right? So we could be possibly looking at a butterfly playing out, right? Here if it changes back to 9, and now we've got a butterfly, right? The stop is 86.43. And the stops more often than not get punched. So when you see this, you want to look for the entry here, not just at the PRZ, right? That's going to be the lowest risk entry for a turn. But since Phantom's so close, right, it's kind of on a fine edge. I'm just going to go ahead and do two rays. One here at the PRZ and one at the stop, right? And then go back down to the 10-minute time frame, and now we're seeing that first buy signal, right? It was right through the stop. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hop into Discord, and if you missed this AMA, you know, I'm probably going to stream again on Wednesday, and we can do indicator portion, especially you guys on trial. Try to answer all your questions, you know, in person, live, with real-time examples. You know, that kind of wraps up the stream for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see what happens at these PRZs, and make sure to have stops. Trade safe. Catch you in Discord.